महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा।
Causes of poverty. There were a number of causes for the widespread poverty in India. One historical reason is the low level of economic development under the British colonial administration. The policies of the colonial government ruined traditional handicrafts and discouraged the developments of industries like textiles. The low rate of growth persisted until the 19th and 80s. This resulted in less job opportunities and low growth rate of incomes. This was accompanied by a higher growth rate of population. The two combined to make the growth rate of per capita income very low. The failure at both the fronts, promotion of economic growth and population control, perpetuated the cycle of the poverty. With the spread of irrigation and the Green Revolution, many job opportunities were created in the agriculture sector. But the effects were limited to some parts of India. The industries, both in the public and the private sector, did provide some jobs. But these were not enough to absorb all the job seekers. Unable to find proper jobs in cities, many people started working as a rickshaw pullers, vendors, construction workers, domestic servants, etc. With irregular small income, these people could not afford expensive housing. They started living in slums on the outskirts of the cities, and the problem of poverty, largely a rural phenomena, also became the feature of the urban sector. Another feature of high poverty rates has been the huge income inequalities. One of the major reasons for this is the unequal distribution of land and other resources. In spite of many policies, we have not been able to tackle the issues in a meaningful manner. Major policy incentives like land reforms, which aimed at the redistribution of the asset in the rural areas, have not been implemented properly and effectively by most of the state government. Since lack of land resources have been one of the major causes of the poverty in India, proper implementation of the policy could have improved the life of the millions of rural poor. Many other socio-cultural and economic factors are also responsible for poverty. In order to fulfill social obligations and observe religious ceremonies, people in India, including the very poor, spend a lot of money. Small farmers need money to buy agriculture inputs like seed, fertilizer, pesticide, etc. Since poor people hardly have any saving, they borrow the money. Unable to repay because of the poverty, they become victims of indebtedness. So the high level of indebtedness is both the cause and the effect of the poverty. Now let us look at anti-poverty measures. Removal of the poverty has been one of the major objectives of the Indian development strategy. The current anti-poverty strategy of the government is based broadly on two fronts: promotion of the economic growth and target anti-poverty programs. Over Over a period of 30 years lasting up to the early 80s, there were little per capita income growth and not much reduction in the poverty. Official poverty estimates, which were about 45% in the early 1950s, remained the same even in the early 80s. Since the 80s, India's economic growth has been one of the fastest in the world. The growth rate jumped from the average of about 3.5% a year in the 1970s to about 6% during the 1980s and 1990s. The higher growth rates have helped significantly in the reduction of the poverty. Therefore, it is becoming clear that there is a strong link between the economic growth and poverty reduction. Economic growth widens opportunity and provides the resources needed to invest in the human development. This also encourages people to send their children, including the girl child, to school in the hope of getting better economic returns from investing in education. However, the poor may not be able to take direct advantage from the opportunity created by the economic growth. Moreover, growth in the agriculture sector is much below expectation. This has a direct bearing on poverty, as a large number of poor people living in villages and are dependent on agriculture. In this circumference, there is a clear need for targeted anti-poverty program. Although there are so many schemes which are formulated to affect the poverty directly or indirectly, some of them are worth mentioning. National Rural Employment Guaranteed Act NREGA 2005 was passed in September 2005. The Act provides 100 days assured employment every year to every rural household in 200 districts. Later, the scheme will be extended to 600 districts. 1/3 of the proposed job could be reserved for the women. The central government will also establish National Employment Guaranteed Funds. Similarly, state government will establish state employment guarantee funds for implementation of the scheme. Under the program, if an applicant is not provided employment within 15 days, she or he will be entitled to a daily unemployment allowances. Another important schemes have been the National Food for Work Program NFWP, which was launched in 2004 in 150 most backward districts of the country. The program is open to all rural poor who are in need of wage employment and decide to do manual unskilled work. It is implemented as a 100% centrally proposed scheme, and food grains are provided free of cost to the states. Once the NREGA is in force, the NFWP will be subsumed within the program. Prime Minister Rozgar Yojana PMRY is another scheme which was started in 1993. The aim of the program is to create self-employment opportunities for educated unemployed youth in rural areas and small towns. They are helped in setting up small business and industries. Rural Employment Generation Programs REGP was launched in 1995. The aim of the program is to create self-employment opportunities in rural areas and small towns. A target for creating 25 lakh new jobs has been set up for the program under the 10th 5-year plan. Swarna Jayanti Grama Sarvojgar Yojana SGSY was launched in 1999. The program aims at bringing the assisting poor families above the poverty line by organizing them into a self-help group through a mix of bank credits and government subsidies. Under the Pradhan Mantri Gramodyoga Yojana PMGY launched in 2000, additional central assistance is given to states for basic service such as primary health center, primary education, rural shelter, rural drinking water and rural electrification. Another important scheme is Antyodaya Anna Yojana AAY, about which you will be reading more in the next chapters. The result of this program have been mixed. One of the major reasons for less effectiveness is the lack of proper implementation and right targeting. Moreover, there has been a lot of overlapping of schemes. In spite of good intentions, the benefits of these schemes are not fully reached to the deserving poor. Therefore, the major emphasis in recent years is on proper monitoring of all the poverty alleviation program. Poverty has certainly declined in India, but in spite of the program, poverty reduction remains India's most compelling challenge. While disparities in poverty are visible between poor, rural and urban areas and among different states, certain social and economic growths are more vulnerable to poverty. Poverty declination is expected to make better progress in the next 10 to 15 years. This could be possible mainly due to the higher economic growth, increasing trust on universal free elementary education, declining population growth, increasing employments of the women and the economically weaker section of the society. The official definition of the poverty, however, captures only a limited part of what poverty really means to people. It is about a minimum subsistence level of living rather than a reasonable level of living. Many scholars advocate that we must broaden the concept into human poverty. A large number of people may have been able to feed themselves, but do they have education or shelter or health care or job security or self-confidence? Are they free from caste and gender discrimination? Is the practice of child labor still common? While experience shows that with development, the definition of what constitutes poverty also changes. Eradication of the poverty is always a moving target. Hopefully, we will be able to provide the minimum necessary in terms of only income to all people by the end of the next decades. But the target will move on for many of the bigger challenges that still remain. Providing health care, education and job security for all and achieving gender equality and dignity for the poor. This will be even bigger task. We have reached the end of the lesson, children. Enjoy. Thank you for watching.